Guys, thanks so much for joining me for part 2 of Freedom Through Writing. If you missed part 1, it is, I'm going to send out, I've already sent out that replay. I'll have one page that makes part 1 and part 2 available to everyone, so don't worry about that. Part 1, we really focused on if you want, and not everybody wants this, but if you would like to be a full-time Kingdom messenger, and you would like that to actually be your career. So if you have a day job, you can quit that and devote full time to being a Kingdom messenger. And we talked about what would it take to write the kind of book that would make that possible. And I shared with you from my 35 years of experience in this industry, that it's not going to be the book itself, and rather that the book is the cornerstone of your message. And that's why I like the term Kingdom messenger better than like Christian author or even Kingdom author, but you're a messenger. And so you can deliver that message a wide variety of ways. You can deliver it through a book, and that's where, that's a great place to start. We're going to talk about that today. But make sure it's a message that lends itself well to other formats. In other words, you can turn it into a membership program where you give people ongoing support and community. You can turn it into a coaching program. You can offer consulting services related to it. So I think that that's really, really important for us to all keep in mind, that if you want to be a Kingdom messenger, your book is really the centerpiece, but it needs to be just one part if you want to do this as a career. Now, I realize that there are some people here and you're like, Donna, I just want to write a book just because I want to write a book, and I don't have any grand plans. I don't want to be a Kingdom messenger. I don't want this to be my career. I just want to write a book. That's completely fine. So we're probably overshooting the mark for you, but I'm really speaking today primarily to that person who wants to do what they have done, right? That's why you're listening to me, because you're like, okay, Donna, you've done that. That's what I want to do. Donna, how can I do what you've done? And that's what I've done. I've made my full-time career as a Kingdom messenger for decades and decades and decades. And so I'm just going to give you 13 little steps. And again, I'm going to reinforce this. I'm going to send out to you a PDF that covers all of this, and you'll be able to have that for reinforcement. And it really goes into maybe some more detail than I'll be able to cover here today. And step 1 is to develop a marketing mindset. And I know that that word scares a lot of you. In fact, how many of you are like, I have no idea how to market my book. I don't know what it means. I don't know what it looks like. It's intimidating. Just go ahead and say, like, marketing, I'm scared already. Go ahead, just be honest. How many of you would say that you feel like, well, that's kind of be the biggest challenge. I know what I want to say, and I think I can get some words up on a page if I really set my mind to it. But then how am I gonna get it out there? Right? I think when we talk to people, and we've been doing this, full time since I think 2020. And informally for 35 years, because when you're a successful author, a lot of people come up to you and say, how can I do what you do? The main thing that we hear is, I just need Donna to help me market my book. And very often, since we've put the book launch out there, what people mean when they say that, a lot of times they've already written the book. They've even already put the book up on Amazon. And they're like, okay, I got the book done. It's even up on Amazon. And now I need to do that marketing thing. And I think if you listen to part 1, it's really going to help you, because marketing is not, I'm going to say 2 things about marketing. Number 1, marketing is not sales. Okay. Marketing is letting the people that you can help know that you're available to help them. That's it. That's what marketing is. Marketing is telling people with a problem that you can solve that you're available and you'd love to help them. Marketing is telling people who have a dream, one that you've already achieved, one that you know how to achieve, that you can help them achieve. Marketing is letting them know, hey, I'm here. I'd love to help you. I have a system. I have a program. I know how to do this. Let me take you by the hand and show you how. That's what marketing is. That's it. It's nothing else. I think we get intimidated and think it's some complicated thing. And if you're a Kingdom messenger, marketing should be very easy for you, right? because you got the king and you got the message, and all marketing is like some God's anointing. It's the most important thing. God's anointing on your message, and you just telling people, hey, this is the message. Let me help you. That's it. Okay. So just be encouraged about that. That's the first thing I want to say about a marketing mindset. And then the second thing I want to say is that you do need to think strategically. And that's where I think most people miss it. Marketing is not something that you add on after the fact, like you've written a book and now you need to sell it to people. That's the wrong way to think about this. And I covered this extensively in part one. In fact, all of part one is me helping you get an authentic messenger / marketing mindset. So just go and review all of that. It's positioning, marketing is making sure that you're really going to be able to help people in the way that they want to be helped. I had a person in my life who always used to say, Donna, make sure you're helping in a helpful way. I think that's marketing. That's marketing. Marketing is making sure with your book that you're helping in a helpful way, that you're giving people the kind of help that they're looking for and willing to invest in. Again, I'm just recapping part one. If your idea of helping people is giving them yet another sermon on a topic that they've already heard 5 million sermons on, and they're like, that's not helping in a helpful way. Okay. Helping them is knowing what problems they're trying to solve and what dreams they're trying to pursue, and helping them do what it is that they want to do, not what you think they should want. This is really important. And that's part of the, messenger or marketing mindset, right? So that's the most important thing, understanding what marketing is. And it's just getting your message out there and crafting the type of message that people are going to resonate with today, and delivering it in a way that people can handle. And I'm getting ahead a little bit, but I think that this is also part of it. A marketing mindset understands what people need right now. And what people need right now is like, don't overwhelm me. Just give me a book that helps me to get a quick, easy win on one narrow topic. Just help me a little bit with one little problem, and then I'll trust you to help me with another little thing in my life. And then I'll trust you to help me with another little thing in my life. Right? Don't go in and say, what we're going to do. I know you've never met me, but I'm going to tell you how to transform your entire life. And they're like, well, I don't know you. I don't know that you can help me. The easiest way, again, this is marketing, to prove to people that you can help them is to actually help them. That's why I'm doing this today. I'm hoping that I can help you. I'm confident that I can help you to understand what it takes to succeed as a kingdom messenger today. And if by the end of this, you're like, you know what? Donna actually really helped me. She really helped me. That's how you show people that you can help them, by helping them. Okay? That is a marketing mindset. Number two, and we covered this extensively, it's a little bit of a recap, these first few, is thinking of your book as an invitation. You're looking for, we're kingdom messengers. We're looking for that deeper connection. We want our book to be a way to bring that person into our world and walk alongside of them as they pursue that dream or solve that problem. And again, not all of you are willing to do that, but if you want to be a true kingdom messenger, you're going to need to do that, whether that's in person at an event, online like this at an event, a coaching program, a membership, a product that you create, an online course, but you want to give them more. And I covered that extensively in part one. Now, this is, I think, now is when we dive into the new material. Number three, write for one person. Write like you're talking to a real human being. A lot of my clients are extremely well educated. Most of them have master's degrees. I've had a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, had a professor. I had one woman with 2 PhDs, really, really smart people. And that means that they've spent a lot of time in a university environment, or they may be a professional. And so they've spent a lot of time in a business environment. And what is that writing style? It's a bunch of highfalutin mumbo jumbo. I had one client, in fact, it was the one who had two PhDs. She footnoted everything in her book. She added a footnote to the quote, and I'm not making this up, it's true, a lovely woman. Dog is God spelled backwards, you know? She footnoted that, like the source, like where she, right? And that, again, if that's you, if I'm talking to you and you're like this really educated person and you're used to that type of writing, you're going to need to make a shift. We're not looking for a bunch of footnotes and citations and else. You're having a conversation. Okay. You're sitting down at Starbucks or, you know, or the Holy Grounds or Heavenly Brew, your Christian coffee shop there. We've got a great Christian coffee shop here. So you're sitting down at the Christian coffee shop and you're talking with someone one-on-one, a real person, a real conversation. That's the way you should write. Like you're talking to a person, not like you're writing a dissertation. Right? And it's again, you can do this, right? It's just, maybe it's new to you. You've certainly had conversations with people. So write like that. You know, nobody wants to be impressed with a bunch of big words. They just want you to help them with their problems. That's all. And the other thing, and I make the note is, you know, you want to talk about you, but make sure you're talking about the right you. When I say talking about you, I don't mean the person in the mirror. I mean the person in the other chair. You ever had a conversation with someone and all they talk about is themselves? It's kind of boring after a while, right? So you want to talk about you, that person sitting with me, you, and you know, and me. You know, I kind of had that experience, and this is what I found in you, and you, and let's talk more about you and your dreams and your hopes and your struggles and you, and me, you know, a little bit about me. Do you understand what I'm saying? We don't want to come out, and I shared this with a client the other day who was thinking about writing an autobiography. Now, an autobiography is not a memoir. A memoir is about a moment in time. My most successful book that I've launched for a client is a memoir. And it's a memoir about one moment in time in his life. Those are very popular right now, but I need to tell you, it's the most difficult type of book to write. It's extremely difficult because you have to use Joseph Campbell and you have to follow the hero's journey and you need to have an arc and it needs to be really compelling and extremely well written. You know, so if you have a lot of experience as an author, then I think that you can do a memoir. An autobiography is like, I was born in the house that my father built, like tells your whole life story. You know, unless you're Richard Nixon, you know, that's the opening line, right? Isn't it? I was born in the house my father built. I definitely wouldn't be writing autobiographies. I think that's the wrong you. The you in those first books, the you that you should be primarily talking about is you, the person sitting in that chair at Starbucks. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful. And then sharing from your life experience a little bit. And the more people know you as you write more books, you probably share more and more about yourself because they'll want to know more. They'll be asking to know more about you. But in that first book, or even those first 3 books, it really needs to be primarily about that person that you're talking to. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? Again, the biggest mistake that I see with the people that we deal with is that they write the wrong book. And so I'm trying to help you succeed at this by writing the right book. And you've heard me say this many times. I'll just say it one more time. My first 4 books were little self-published booklets filled with practical ideas about how a mom could balance, you know, being a mom of a preschooler and making some extra money at home. Those were my first 4 books, self-published at home. You know, I printed them, copied them, stapled them up, and took them to the post office. And then my 5th book was with focus on the family, and that was called A Woman's Step-by-Step Guide, Homemade Business, A Woman's Step-by-Step Guide to Earning Money from Home. It was really practical. And then my next book was about, you know, how a mom can form a co-op with other moms in their neighborhood. And then my next book was about understanding your kids' personality types. Right. And I never did write. I mean, the closest thing to an autobiography that I wrote was This Isn't the Life I Signed Up For, but I'm Finding Hope and Healing. And I think that was like I didn't even know, like book 12 or something. So I would just encourage you to think, when you're thinking about what book you're going to write, it needs to primarily be about that person that you feel called to serve, to help, and to communicate. And obviously, you're not going to sit there and like never say anything about yourself ever. I mean, you're going to have a conversation. So it's going to be a little bit about you, but only in so far as it's helping them. Does this make sense? If this makes sense to you, say, Donna, yes, this makes sense. Right? I mean, if you've had some crazy experience, you want to write a memoir, that can do really, really well. That client I shared this last week, he became a prescription drug addict and his whole life was falling apart. And then he said, I know that I'll be healed if I hike the Appalachian Trail alone. So he set off on the Appalachian Trail like in a drug, strung out on Oxycontin. Yes. Quite a story. He did heal his marriage. Praise God. He healed his marriage and he healed his heart. He didn't get physically healed, but he healed his marriage and he healed his drug addiction and he healed a lot of other things. That's amazing. But he didn't say, well, I was born here and then I did this and then I did that and then I did the other thing and I did the other thing and then I went to kindergarten and then I went to first grade and then I went here and then I went there and when I went to the other thing. No, nobody cares. They've never heard of you. But, if you in a drug-addled state went to REI and then the next day went to try to hike the Appalachian Trail alone, it's kind of interesting to someone who is interested in hiking the Appalachian Trail alone themselves. I talked about this last week, so I don't want to reiterate that too much. Number 4, create a beta group. I'm really very surprised that more even of my authors in my coaching programs skip this. I think it's really a lost opportunity. What's a beta group? You get a group of people together and you teach the book live. Again, some of this is repeat from last week, but the value of the beta group is twofold. And the most important point, I'm giving you some of my best stuff. I just want you to know that. I'm giving you some of my best stuff here. The reason why the beta group is critical to your eventual book launch is because you're coming from a really pure heart. There's no mixed motives. Stay with me. You don't have a book to sell. You haven't written it yet. You're not trying to get them to go write your book, read your book. You're not trying to get them to go review your book. There's nothing to sell. You haven't written the book yet. So when you're teaching it live, as you're writing it or as you're preparing to writing it, your heart is really at a pure place of wanting to be sure of what? Not that they're going to do something for you, but making sure that you're really helping them. You want them to succeed so that you're putting the right material in the book. They're your peeps. You've got a real vested interest in who? Them. And people feel it. They can tell that when you're in that beta group phase, and I don't say beta readers. A lot of people say, well, get beta readers. Again, I know I'm very honest with you guys, and I know that apparently it hurts some people's feelings. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I just don't think it's helpful to not give you the full picture. Okay. If you've never written a book, no one knows that they like your writing. So when you say to them, hey, you want to read my book? They're like, well, I don't know. Do you know how to write? I don't know. Now, if you're Joyce Meyer and you say, hey, I've just written a brand new book and no one else has read it and I want you to read it. You're like, what? Joyce Meyer wants me to be the first person to read her book? No one else has read it yet? You're like, you're going crazy because you know that you like her books, right? But we're not there yet. So we can't use that strategy. That's not going to work for us. If you've only written like one book or you haven't written any books, you can't lead with that. You have to lead with service. Lead with service. Hey, I want to help you solve your problems. And I've developed a strategy, blah, 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 blah. And let's spend 8 weeks together. Let's spend 21 days together, whatever. And I really believe that I can help you. Give me a chance. Let's do this together. And you're just in your head, your heart, every part of you is in such a good, pure space. And they feel it. As soon as you've written the book, there's this, and we all love Jesus, but I'll just, come on, be honest now. Everybody, if your book is for sale on Amazon and you're teaching the book, just come on. Isn't there part of you that wants them to do something? What do you think you want them to do? Come on, I want to see answers. And then, yeah, you want them to go buy it. You want them to go review it. Okay. So even though you love Jesus, you get a little bit of a mixed motive there. Which is fine. We want to write a great book. And again, we talked about marketing mindset. The book is going to do nothing but help people. We do want them to buy the book. We do want them to review the book. But what I'm talking to you about is this amazing moment in time, this incredible opportunity that even my authors that I am coaching, people who've paid me $16,000 for my best advice and handholding. We'll skip this. Well, I want to get that book out there. Yeah, okay. It's fine. I love you no matter what. This is does anybody get this? How powerful. And, we will never pass this way again, right? You know that song? You're never going to be in that place again where you don't have the book because you're going to write the book. Do you get it? It's a powerful moment. Don't miss it. You're at such a pure place of service, and all those people feel it. Then when your book finally comes out, what do they want to do without you even asking them? They want to reciprocate. Yes. They've been with you on this journey. You've served them. You've blessed them. You've done so much for them. And you probably put their name in the book. That's what I did. I put everyone's name in the book who participated in the group. Does this make sense? How many of you are like, I get it. I get it. I see it. Type in the chat. I see it. I get it. Really, really powerful. So much, again, coming back to, we've been talking about marketing. Marketing is about positioning. Yeah. You never want the position ever to be, hey, can you do me a favor and go buy my book? Hey, can you do me a favor and read my book? Hey, can you do me a favor and review my book? That is really weak. Really weak. Right? The powerful position is, I'm just here to bless you. And some of you have heard me share this before. And it's really because I'm from New Jersey, I think. And I probably tried to sell my books at a few events, and God's like, no, that's not going to work. We know. And the Holy Spirit convicted me and said, I don't want you to bring your books up there. I don't want you to hold your books up. I don't want you to try to get people to knock each other over to be the one who gets the book. I don't want you to say one word about your books at all when you're speaking and ministering to people. Don't mention it. Don't touch it. Leave it be. I don't want you corrupting things here. Right? And typically authors who do all those tricks, maybe they'll sell 20% of the room. My book sold between 100 and 120% of the room. Even though I didn't hold them up or mention them ever. Why? Who can tell me why? Why? because I focused all my energy on what? Not trying to sell my books, trying to actually help them. I focused on them. And what did they want to do? Take me home. Because I helped them. I blessed them. Like, oh, I feel she really blessed me. I need more of this. Let me get more of this good stuff. They went to the table and said, I'll take everything. I want to take it home with me. I hope you're getting it. Then I'm talking to you about marketing. I'm talking to you about marketing from the heart. Heart, say, when you come from a place of service and really help people, what is marketing? Marketing is trying to convince them that you can help them. Okay, so why don't you just help them? Is this helping? Am I helping you right now? Do you see how much more powerful that is than, oh, buy my book. Now I think I'll just focus totally on you, and giving you everything I've got to help you. So that you know I can do what? Help you. That's what I'm giving. Okay? Don't miss the beta group. I want you to write in the chat right now, Donna, I am going to have a beta group. I'm going to have a beta group. You know what? I'm starting my beta group right now. Who's starting your beta group right now? You can do beta group. Okay. They're doing it. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Number 5, keep it short, people. I once had a person write an 85,000 word book. Now, the name of the game on Amazon right now is speed, and the world has changed, and it's driven entirely by dopamine. That's it. Everybody's addicted. Me too. Oh God, what Jesus help. I need Jesus. Jesus help me. This is my Colombian heart. Connecting to my wonderful life as a missionary in Colombia right now. Okay, Lord, thank you. Keep it short. People are addicted to dopamine. That little hit. So what do you need to do? You need to keep it short. Keep the chapters short. Keep the book short. Keep the topic narrow. Again, we're not trying to give them everything and this is my biggest weakness as a kingdom messenger. If you followed me for a while, you could probably just say it. Information overload. And I think that I've done that because I'm insecure. I'm insecure. And that's where that comes from. Information overload comes from a place of insecurity. I need to tell you everything I know about this topic, everything I've ever learned, so that you know I really know something. That's where it comes from. And I know because I've struggled with it my entire ministry, my entire career. It's my biggest weakness. And that's where it comes from. If your only goal is to help that person move an inch forward and get that little dopamine hit, make a little bit of progress, make a little bit of progress. Again, make sure you listen to part 1 multiple times. And it's about them and really helping them, and not about you trying to show everybody how you know stuff and how smart you are. Insecurity, right? Keep it short. Keep it narrow. Just help them do one little thing. They've never met you. They're not going to trust you anyway to tell them how to change their whole life. No, they don't know you. Just help them do one small thing. Keep it short. I love 18,000 to 21,000 words. That's the ideal range for a Kindle book on one very narrow topic. Does that help? Is this helping? Okay. Keep it short. I said between 18,000 and 21,000 words. Short, on one very specific practical topic that delivers a quick, easy win. Okay. So the other reason why you want it to be short, follow me now. In today's world, can you relate to this? Like, you get to the end of the day and you're like, I didn't get anything done. Like, I was going all day, but I didn't seem to get anything done. Everybody feels that. So when you give them a short book and they turn to the last page and they got it done, what does that do? It releases all kind of happy chemicals, and they associate all of those happy chemicals that just been released. Who do they associate that with? You. You made them feel good about themselves. All day, all week, all month, they're not getting anything done. If you hand them 85,000, 50,000 words, 60,000, 80,000 words, they get that thing done. And they're like, oh, another thing I didn't get done. They read 3 chapters. You know, the irony is, you know, if you're reading 18,000 words, they could be done, or that could be like just part 1 of the book. And they're like, yeah, I'm still in part 1. I can't get anything done. But if you do like a little 20,000 word book and that stands on its own and they get it done, they bond with you. That's one reason to keep it short. You want them to chemically bond with you. The other reason is that you want them to write a review. And if they don't finish your book, they're not going to write a review, period. And Amazon lives on reviews. I didn't include that today, but just write that down. Reviews are like M&Ms for Amazon. Number 6, send out 100 ARCs. That's advanced reader copies. And what I would do, coming back, is the beta group. After you teach this group of people, there is no book, you're not selling anything. After you teach them for this 8 weeks, or I think 8 is a good number, for however long, then when you get to the end, say, hasn't this been an amazing experience we've had together? I want to share it with the world. And that's why I've just turned it into a drum roll. What did I turn it into? A book. And here it is. This is the advanced reader copy. I'd love for you to read it and share with me your testimony of how it ministers to you. And you need to get at least 100 people to read that ARC. Wouldn't lead with the ARC, because again, if you're not a known writer and you send people your book and say, do you want to read my book? They're like, no, I don't think so. Right? Send it to the people that you've sewn into. And then when your book comes out on Amazon, they've already read it and they have their review, their testimony already ready. And this is probably beyond the scope of what I can go into, but we have a whole strategy around how to maximize those ARCs. But I think you need at least 100 people who've already read the book before you publish it. And then they can go, you know, they want to get the paperback. They don't want the ARC, they want the paperback. Because why? Why do they want the paperback? Why do they want to go spend $15 to get your book? Reciprocity. Reciprocity. Because reciprocity. You've sown into them. You've blessed them. They love you. You've helped them. They want to go buy it to give back to you in return for all that you've poured into them. That's why they'll go buy it. And I'm going to tell you another reason why they might go buy it too. But that's the number one. It's your harvest. You've sown the seeds, right? Of giving the message without, with no strings attached. And then the book comes out and that's your harvest. Those initial book buyers and book promoters Those are your advocates. The other reason they might buy it is if you put all their names in it, like everybody like has a certain amount of participation, you put their name in it and they want to get the paperback so they can show everybody, look, my name is in this book. Number 7, make sure you have great keywords and categories. And I can give you an example fresh from this past 2 weeks. I have spent at least 30 hours and hired 2 people to help me to find keywords for a book that I'm launching for one of my clients. 30 hours. Just trying to find out what is a keyword. A keyword is what people are typing into Amazon when they're looking for a book. Think about a bookstore. You know, you go in and they have an information. I know Barnes and Noble still has this, a little information. You're like, I'm looking for a book about Napoleon Bonaparte. And they're like, okay, let me look. Book about Napoleon Bonaparte. And they type that in. They're like, oh, okay, this is what we found. That's what a keyword is. People with a problem or a dream go over to Amazon and they type that in. Trauma recovery for women. Something like that. I gave the example last week, teach my child to read. That's the type of things that people will type. And keyword that's what a keyword is. It's never one word. You never type one word, right? You always type like a question or a phrase, teach my child to read, how to eat gluten-free, quick, easy, low-carb meals. That's the type of thing that people type. And we use a variety of different software tools. I use Publisher Rocket. We use Helium. We use Google keyword search. We do manual Amazon searches. I cover this in my book, Getting Started with Amazon, KDP. But that's really, really critical. I think that is the most complicated thing that I do for my clients is find keywords and categories. What are categories? Categories are like the sections of the bookstore. Like you go into the bookstore and there's the travel section, the business book section, the cookbook section, the health and wellness section, the Christian fiction section. That's what categories are. They're the different sections of the bookstore. And you want to make sure that your book title reflects the type of things that people are typing in. And this is the number 1 tip that I'll give you. Clever is the kiss of death with a book title. Every once in a while, one will come along and, just randomly like Blue Like Jazz. Doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? I don't know. But he's such a brilliant writer and somehow it worked. Bird by Bird, but Suzanne Lamott. That's why that worked. But on Amazon, on Kindle, your book title needs to be clear, not clever. Why? Because people aren't typing clever. They're typing clear questions for problems that they have. If you and anybody who loves to be clever, can I just say it? Say, I love clever. Totally. I love clever. Do you love clever? I love clever. I love clever. Clever doesn't work. Here's the test to know if you're trying to come up with a clever title. If you have to say, get it, Blue Like Jazz, get it? It means that bird by bird, get it? It means this. And you have to explain it. If you have to explain at all what your title means, it's the wrong title. Needs to be completely clear. 21-day sugar detox. Fat loss after 40. A faster way to fat loss after 40. That's my next book we're doing. The faster way to fat loss after 40. Who knows what that book is about? Yeah. Okay. My biggest flop was a book called Soon to Be a Major Motion Picture. Does anybody know what that book is about? No. Get it? Like Soon to be a major motion picture, like a drama, like a melodrama, like being a drama queen, like blowing your problems out of proportion. Get it? No, we don't get it. It's my worst selling book. Clever. Now more than ever, book titles need to be clear. Unless you're Anne Lamott, then you can just call it anything you want. But we're not her. We wish we were, but we're not. Okay. Keywords are king and categories are queen. Or I might have gotten that backwards. One's king, one's queen, and it's escaping me right now. But the most important thing, you have to, I shared this story many times, but my megachurch pastor had a book released by the #1 Christian publisher, and they only put it in one category. We used to be able to put our clients into 22 different categories. Can't get away with that anymore. But we can put them in 6, actually 9. I have a new strategy. I just stumbled upon it last week. We can put our clients into 9 categories. Okay. My pastor, we've got someone unmute. Let's see. They only put him in one category. This is a Christian pastor. You want to know what category they had him in? New Age. His book is in the New Age section. No wonder the book bombed. They had a dumb title, clever, get it? No one got it. Ugly cover, couldn't even read it. It was like abstract. Well, you can't see it. And it was in the New Age section. Like, no wonder this book didn't sell. It's so sad. But don't feel too bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars bought like 20,000 copies of it, so his publisher wouldn't be mad at them. So they're still giving them out on the streets of Jacksonville. I think if you go to the game, they'll give you one. Number 8. This one surprises me, and this is for those of you, I know we have some people here who've already published. This really surprises me because I see it all the time. In fact, I see it more often than not. And again, I'm really giving you my best stuff for free today. Okay. Amazon, write this down. It's a really good tip. Okay. Number 8 is write a good book description. Amazon will allow you 5,000 characters. And yet most people will just like one paragraph for the book. We're not going to do one paragraph. I mean, we are going to fill, we're going to fill that description box. Use every word, every character that you possibly can, and include your keywords in there. And make sure you're telling people how this book is going to help them so that it's persuasive. It's not a book report, it's a persuasive essay about how it can benefit you. But you've got up to, write that down, up to 5,000 characters. Use them all. Why? Why is that so important? Because when people type in to Amazon that they're looking for a book on your topic, Amazon is looking to see, are there any books about that, what they just typed in, like fat loss after 40? Are there any books about that topic? Are there any books about low carb recipes? Are there any books about, quick and easy meal prep? Okay. The more words and phrases that you pack into your description that people might be typing, the better your chances that Amazon is going to recommend your book. Again, a missed opportunity by most people is a huge opportunity for you. You make sure you met, like, I will take literal, I will leave no space unturned. I will back that thing with as many words as I can possibly get in there. And then I'll just divide it into sections, et cetera, et cetera. Does this make sense to you? The whole is called discoverability. You want your book to be discovered by the Amazon algorithm so that the Amazon algorithm will show it to people. Does that make sense? So the key to all of this is to give Amazon what it wants. And if you give Amazon what it wants, it will give you what you want, which is book readers. What does Amazon want? A very clear title that the algorithm doesn't have to guess what it might be about. It's not going to guess what your book is about. It doesn't care. Okay? Does this make sense to you? All you need, and I've given this illustration before, all I needed was one person to believe in me and to help me. And that was my author career. We're good. And I've done that for a number of people. Okay. Dr. Jim Dobson did that for me. No one ever heard of me. No one would ever hear of me, ever, if it weren't for Dr. Jim Dobson. He's the reason I was discovered. He discovered me and said, here, I discovered this author. Listen to her. Okay. Buy her book. And that's always better when someone else says, buy your book, right? And I've done that for a number, especially my initial authors that I worked with one-on-one. I sent it out to the 50,000 people on my mailing list. I discovered this amazing author. You should go see what they have to say. I mean, I have people that thousands and thousands of people are following them now from my list. I've shared this before. One of the most famous award-winning gospel singers in the entire world is on my mailing list and is now friends with one of the authors that I launched. Personal friends with them, like vacations with them, because she was on my list. And I said, hey, I found this amazing author. You should listen to her. Okay. That's pretty powerful. But Dr. Dobson and Donna Partow are nowhere near as powerful as what? The Amazon algorithm. If the Amazon algorithm discovers your book and starts showing it to people, that's more than any one human being could ever do in a lifetime of trying to help you, right? That's why the books that I have, that I've launched that have really taken off, it's because we gave the Amazon algorithm exactly what it wants. And I'll just come back to my number one book. I think it's about 3,000 people. We found the keyword phrase. Remember, I told you for my current client, I've spent 30 hours looking for a phrase that people are typing. And for that client who wrote the memoir, I found the phrase through using all these different tools. Hike the Appalachian Trail alone. That's a five-word keyword. That's a lot of, it's called intentionality. Like that's what they're looking for. It can't be confused with anything else. Like if we're just hike, it could be like hitchhike. Yeah. Now hike the Appalachian Trail alone. Do you hear the specificity of that? They know exactly what they want to do. Not just hike. They want to hike the Appalachian Trail, and not just hike the Appalachian Trail. They want to do it alone. That's what they're interested in. And so they go on Amazon and type those exact 5 words. 3,000 people every month go and type hike the Appalachian Trail alone into that search box. And I think it's 3 years later, still to this day. I mean, last time I checked, if you type those 5 words, Amazon is going to show you this book because we use that as the subtitle. Now, he wanted to title it something clever. Only when I step on it, get it? Does it hurt? Only when I step on it? I'm like, okay. But we better have something clear in the subtitle, and the subtitle's at the top. One man's journey to hike the Appalachian Trail alone, exact match to the keyword. Powerful, powerful. And that's why I think he's got at least 2,000 reviews. So it's incredible. It's phenom. So is this helpful? Am I helping you? Yeah. Got to write the right book. Got to write the right kind of book and give it a crystal clear title and or subtitle. If I can convince an author to do, if we can do both the title and the subtitle reflect things that people are actually typing in, it's really powerful, really powerful. Can't always do that, but we try. Yeah. Yeah, few things are more important than this. Yeah, it has to be what people are typing. That's why I put so much time into it. Okay, number 9. Again, I'm just confessing my weaknesses, things I've done wrong sometimes and done right. Number 9, set an official launch date. When I decided to self-publish, right, because I love my publisher. Okay, they've been great. They pay me 64 cents per book. They're selling them for $14.99. Seems like everybody's making bank but me on these millions of books we're selling. I said, well, let me try my hand at self-publishing. You know what I did? I just like got it done and then woke up one day and plopped it up on Amazon. Come on, how many of you would do this? Plopped it up on Amazon and then did what most of you would do, be like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Now it's up there. Let me go find someone to buy it. I did exactly what you would do. Exactly what some of you maybe have done and would be tempted to do. I did it too. It doesn't work. I need to have a plan. And I have my own on this. I can't give you this proprietary. I have a 5-phase launch. It's really clever, but we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. You need to have a strategic plan of how you're going to roll out. Let me say that. Roll out your book. And I'm just going to give you one free tip here. Really good stuff. I'm giving you too much really for a free event, but I love you and I want to help you. So, what can I share of my proprietary formula? Top secret, Donna's proprietary. Okay, I know what I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be jumping ahead. So what's a secret I can give you? Okay, all right. Here's the secret I can give you. In terms of rolling out your launch. Are you ready? I should be charging you for this. At least $97, but I'm going to give it to you for free. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you this one. This is big. This is big. Don't publish the Kindle version until the paperback has garnered 10 reviews. No one else is doing this. That's proprietary. I just gave you one of my best secrets right there. Yeah, I did. Amazon doesn't care about paperbacks. It's like, I mean, as far as they're like, oh, do you want to park your horse and buggy here either? They don't care. They care about the Kindle version. And so the reason we delay the Kindle version, I'm really giving you good stuff. Write this down. Okay. I'm going to give you another technical term, and that's called population. And that's like the algorithm finding your book. Okay. Let's make it simple. We're giving the Amazon a chance to find your book. Coming back to discoverability, finding your book. We want Amazon to find your book. And we'd like them to begin that process of finding it before the stakes are high. The stakes are high when you release the Kindle. From the minute you hit publish on your Kindle, you have 30 days to qualify as what Amazon calls a hot new release. Amazon will give your book 30 days. If your book can get some momentum in those 30 days, Amazon will continue trying to find readers for your book for some period of time, okay? If nothing happens in those first 30 days, if Amazon doesn't see what it's looking for, it will, I think it's over. I think that's it. Very rare that Amazon will ever be convinced to care about the book. Unless you do another book, your second book in the series. Okay. But if you do a second book, yes, Amazon will care about the first again. But let's say you just have this one book and you put it out there and you don't have a strategic plan and you don't have keywords and you don't have categories. You put it in the new age section with a bad title and a dumb cut. They don't care. The book is dead. It's DOA, dead on arrival. And so a lot of what we try to do is prime the pump with the algorithm before we launch the Kindle. And that's probably like the real ninja golden nugget for today that you should all write down. And remember, Donna really gave me a ninja secret. And almost no one knows this secret. And I only know it because I really study the algorithm very, very carefully. Okay. Do that. So you publish your paperback, you get at least 10 reviews. You should really get them in the first week. Get your 10 reviews. Once you have 10 reviews, then and only then say, okay, Amazon, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do these 30 days, right? Because now you're showing the book, people go and what do they see? Amazon cares about the Kindle. Kindle's like, okay, we got a new Kindle book. Let's start showing it to people. What are those people going to see? Smart group, what are they going to see? Your 10 reviews. You don't want Amazon to show your book with no reviews. You got it? You want to give your book the best possible chance to shine and succeed. And Amazon is going to give it a chance. At least for the first week. I watched somebody recently, they didn't publish with me, but I watched it, and Amazon gave up on their book completely within 2 weeks. And I really think they never picked it up at all. Because the book came out and for the first month, still didn't have 10 reviews. Can't do that. Can't do it. You gotta give that algorithm what it wants. You gotta feed the beast, feed the machine. Loves reviews. Give it keywords, categories, a clear title, a beautiful cover, and give it 10 reviews. All that yummy goodness is there in the machine before you release that Kindle and Amazon starts. You've given it a lot to work with in that brief period where it's willing to give your book a chance. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Say, Donna, I think I'm getting it. Just got a couple more tips for you. Probably gave you too many. Probably guilty of my information overload. Jesus, please, you love me. I hope not. I hope not. I just have a couple more. In fact, you know what? You know what, Donna? End there. I'm going to end with that great tip, because I'm always guilty of information overload. I think that I've given you enough, especially with that. One of the last ones, and I'll send you the PDF that I was teaching from today, and it has just a couple more. Then write another book, because as I just mentioned, Amazon will give that book another chance if you write another book and you do it right on the second book, and that second book is succeeding. Amazon 100% will show up the first book, right? That's why you like to do a series. But I hope that this was really, really helpful for you. I've really given you some of my very best stuff in this 2-part series, because I want more and more of you to be taking your message to the world. I am going to do, I don't have it ready. I don't have anything to announce today. I really just wanted to not webinar you. I really just wanted to share with you, friend to friend, face to face, in these kind of informal sessions that we've done together. I am planning to do something. I'm going to do, someone's asking a really good question. And I know that this is hard to hear, but I tell people, if your book has been out more than a month and it doesn't have 25 reviews, I would take it down and start all over again. Amazon's never going to show that book unless you really, now the caveat, unless you're going to do a second and a third book. But if that book is all you've got Yeah, I don't think I've got a second book in me, especially because the first one didn't work. I would take it down. I would unpublish it. I would give it a new title, a new cover, put it into new categories, do it right, do everything we talked about today, and give that book another chance. 100% I would do that. Now, if you fully intend and you have a plan and a strategy to do 2 more books in the series, then just do the next book in the series, and that will drive the first one. But if that, is this clear? If that first book is all you got right in you right now, I would take it down. I'd take it down. Or, I mean, I would take it down. Conceivably, you could leave it up there, but I think it hurts you. I think it does more harm than good. I do. But I am going to do something for you guys, and I'm working with a team right now who are helping me kind of shape that. But we talked last week about this idea of facilitation, of creating a space for people to do what it is that they need to do. You know that you need to plan, publish, and promote your book. You already know that. And I could give you a course and say, go do that. Or even in my coaching, like, hold you accountable. Did you get that done this week? It's not enough anymore. What people need is facilitation. And I did this earlier this year, and it was very successful. And I'm gonna do it again. It's going to be an 8-week super sprint where we can come together, and I'm going to create the space, and we'll get together and do it. You're going to do it. We're not going to talk about it. I'm going to create a space for you to do it. I'll be there with you live. You'll be working on whatever the task is for that week, and it will be facilitation. We don't have all the details to work. I'm working on that right now. Just to be honest with you, I got back from Spain on the 20th. Because I'm fine. Okay, so now say, I hiked 800 kilometers through the mountains of northern Spain without a scratch, without a fall, no problem at all. Rewarded myself with a stay at a luxury hotel my last night in Spain, and fell in the shower. And I've been in a lot of pain, really, really bad. And I also picked up an infection and ended up in first at the urgent care, and that went on for 2 weeks with different treatments. And then they said, you need to get to the ER. I ended up in the ER on IV fluids for 5 weeks. So it's just been crazy. I mean, I really miss Spain, and I wish I was there, but I did fall. I am fine. I'm completely fine. There's no need to like worry about me at all. And I'm good. But I did take quite a fall in the shower at the hotel, and it's a little bit of pain, but I'm going to be completely fine. So that, to be honest, put me a little bit behind schedule. I would have loved to have been able to share all the details about the 8-week super sprint, but I'm still nailing it down, and I don't have everything in place for it. But it is coming your way, and it is going to be, I'm going to create the space for you. I'm going to be with you, not to coach you, but to be there with you as you get it done. That's what I have in mind. So I hope that helps. And I hope it's okay that I was just transparent. I didn't share it with you guys while I was in the middle of it. But I'm out of the woods now, and it's all good. It's all good. I'm totally blessed, totally grateful, and I'm going to be just fine. And wouldn't change a thing. I loved hiking through Spain. If any of you are thinking about the Camino, stay tuned. I'm definitely going to do a little book, just a short little book on all my best tips of hiking the Camino. I absolutely loved it. And I'm off topic now, but I would highly recommend it for all of you. I pray that this was a blessing. If you want a little bit more, meaty goodness from me, you can go to donnapartow.com/incubator, donnapartow.com/incubator. I did a 3-day author incubator. I think it was last year. It's all vague. I think I did it for the first time last year, and it was really great. So if you want a deeper dive on some of the things that we talked about today, you can go and take a look at that, donnapartow.com/incubator. And I think it's like $97 or something like that. Anyway, I pray that this was a blessing, and stay tuned. I'll be getting all those details to you soon. God bless.